Hello, everyone. It is Tuesday, so that means it's WEAVERBIRDS live TV time.
Morning.
Good morning, and it's it's 2 p.m. Well, 1:30 here in Perth, Australia. So we've got this nice, beautiful sunshine. But it's been raining today, sis, which is just
Really?
fabulous. Isn't it crazy? Yeah. We
That's
finally got
hilarious
some
that you
rain.
say that's fabulous.
I know, but you live without rain and you see everything die around you. You go and dance in it whenever it comes. We have had such a hot summer and autumn, so it's like, yay, we've got rain. Thank God.
Come home, there's
Oh, we
plenty
have.
here.
Oh,
Don't
hey, Sheena. Sheena's saying, hello, ladies. Come and join us on screen there,
Morning,
Sheena.
Sheena.
We're here to talk about time and how precious a commodity it always has been, but really I think it's become really very obvious and really apparent to people just how precious time is. Like, life has got so fast. There's not enough hours in the day. Does that mean that we're enjoying the days more, or are we just jam packing them with stuff? I've become really aware and really mindful of it lately. What are your thoughts on it, sis?
And that's what I was going to say. Maybe we're not taking time to stop and be mindful, because when you're younger, you think the days are so long and things are never going to come your way, like your birthdays and Christmas and things like that. And you think, everything seems so long. And you think that you feel, I don't want to say you feel like you've this infinite amount of time. So I don't know whether maybe it's a little bit of an older thing. Our perception of time changes, and you realize time is really all we've got. So surely whenever we are setting out in our careers or we're working or whatever it is we're choosing to do, the idea is to get more time, to create more time with your family, with your friends, to do the things that fill your cup, that give you joy, to give you back time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it became really apparent during COVID, didn't it? Just how we use our time. I think it just really became, because a lot of people had the opportunity. I know here in Perth, Australia, we actually didn't have COVID in our community, but we were locked in and we couldn't leave. We couldn't go to and fro. I couldn't come back to Ireland that year or two and things like that, but our time was, like some people were in lockdown and all of these things and had to do different things, and some people were at a loss because they're on such a treadmill, used to spending their time this way, and then they had this extra time and not knowing what to do with it, and then maybe discovering themselves and all of that self-discovery. Some people avoid having time with themselves when we actually need to go there, because when we go there, we really learn a lot about ourselves, and then we have more. We That's for me. Like, I've got there, and I know, and time. There's so much of life to. I love life, and it loves me back. There's so much of it to love. So I want so much time. Maybe I'm just greedy. I would love it so much. So, but do you know
It's
where
not
I'm going
even
with
that.
that?
100%. And I love Pink, and her song lyrics are, the silence scares me because it screams the truth. I suppose when you're faced to look at yourself in the mirror and do that inner work that we all need to do. There's nobody comes away without needing to do some work. However, the essence of time and what we choose to do with time, we've got to be mindful, we've got to be intentional. People need to see the bigger picture. It's more important that we have the freedom and choices to do whatever we choose to do with our time, that it makes us feel good. There definitely is still a culture, but I do believe it was worse, of this kind of on like the hamster wheel all the time, that you had to get up, go to work, do your day's work, come home, whatever you done in the evening, go to bed. People, I believe, and certainly myself, but I know a lot of people around me are thinking of that all differently now. And people
Yes.
are working smarter, not harder. And ultimately what that is doing is literally buying them time. You're buying
Yeah.
yourself time if you're working smarter, not harder, to do the things that you want to do.
But isn't it, we're the masters of our own time, and some people like that responsibility and some people don't. And we're very lucky and blessed that we are. I know that you transitioned out of having a full-time job. You made a choice to step into entrepreneurship and set up Mental Wealth International. And I know you're a busy bee with that, making people's lives better. But you chose to become the master of your own time and to allocate where you spend your time. And so you're not just bargaining your hour for a whatever you clock in, clock out, which there's nothing wrong with. If that's what you choose for you, that's the balance you want to have. But you chose to go and have impact rather and be the master of your time and do more with every hour. I believe, because I've been an entrepreneur for many years now, and I'm the same. I never depreciate the value of my time and being the master of that, being able to drop my kids off school, be able to pick them up, being able to be there if they need to, and being able to shift things around should that, with values. What are your thoughts on that?
And again, it's so individual. So it depends on what way people choose to spend their time. And you did say it there a minute ago. Some people like that structure. Some people really embrace knowing what way their day is going to go. Entrepreneurship is not for the faint-hearted, let me tell you. And you've got to really be disciplined with your time. The ultimate goal is to buy yourself more time to be able to do the things you choose. And you're right, I was over 2 decades managing the mental health services and left because I can see the bigger picture. I see the need for workplace well-being to reduce the suicide rates, to really allow people to reach their full potential, whether it's at work or at home. And the ripple effect of going in and creating those cultures of well-being is potentially giving people more time at home or allowing them to be more mindful or more open, even in the workspace. So regardless of what it is that you're choosing, be all that you are, whatever it is that you're doing, because that's how you show up. That's how you make the most of time. That's how you live with like a free mind that allows you to show up you and be you. So it definitely is all about perspective as well. If you're getting up and you're like, oh my goodness, and that dread is coming over you because you have to, that dread is coming over you because you've got to go and do work or whatever, you got to really rethink what you're doing. And I see that Sheena's saying she gets up earlier. So do we. See that early morning to get up before everybody else gets up. That, I'm actually going to say that's precious time. That's really precious to do that, and gift yourself that time. Gift yourself that time.
But isn't it, whenever you get into a habit, whenever you get into a habit, it just becomes automatic, and your time is more precious, but you're able to do more in limited amounts of time whenever you become into a habit. Now, I am a very much go with the flow type of person. I'm not very good at discipline. I'm, a few things, that I could do better, I could be more efficient, could be more organized, all of those things. It's just not part of my character. It's not my superpower. But what is my superpower is that when I'm in flow, I can get so much done with focused energy. And it is like things are done at the best potential that they can be when I am in focused flowing energy. And I suppose that where I was going with that is that we use that time in the morning, whether you meditate, I write, when I'm writing, that's, you get used to that. You end up, it becomes a habit. Now, we both love Elizabeth Peru, don't we? We love to listen to her daily, tips, her daily tip-offs. I highly recommend. It's the best money you'll ever spend. It's only like $19 a month or something to be part of it, and it just gives you a head up as to what's happening in the universe or in the energies or whatever, and it's good knowledge to know. But she has been doing this for 21, 22 years, and she shares that this year is the year of authenticity and discipline. Oh, discipline was a hard one for me to even accept, to be disciplined. So I've been trying to be mindful, to be disciplined in my life. And I'm reaping the rewards of it, even disciplined in my thoughts, disciplined in the magic I make happen, really just allocating that time for it mindfully so that time doesn't pass unknowingly, or, just really just doing that. And I know you have been too, sis.
Well, it's about making the most of every moment, the good and the bad. And I suppose as we get a little bit wiser, I'm not going to say older, a little bit wiser, I think giving yourself time, giving yourself time to reflect on both the good and bad, to take the lessons from it or the learning or what it's trying to teach you, that allows us to reframe things, creates a whole different perspective on things, allowing us for more time. And Elizabeth Prue, and I love the fact that she has said discipline and authenticity, because you show up your authentic self. So you be all that you are, regardless of what's going on around you. And discipline, I get up early as well, and I write my gratitude and my goals and my mantra, and then I'll go and do Sean's 555, which is the breath work and the meditation and that. But I have all that done before the day really starts for a lot of other people, and there's a secret in that. There's a lot of successful people talk about that early morning. You've got that head start to set yourself up for the day. You've already gifted yourself the time. It does take a while to get used to it. It's like everything else in the habit, but it's the best gift you'll give yourself. Because I think if your day starts off well, or starts off right, or you're focused, or you know what you want to do or be that day, the chances are you're going to achieve it.
Yeah, especially whenever you start the day off on the right note. I know whenever I start off, writing makes my heart sing. Whenever so it's knowing what that is for you. Just because you're doing one thing and I don't have to do it, you're doing, you don't have to do it, I'm doing. It works for me. Just find your thing, start your day on that note, and watch how it happens. Sheena says gratitude and writing every morning at 6 a.m. for the last few years. Owning my day. Absolutely. Like that, it's just finding that thing for you and just doing it. And it, as you mentioned with the habit, it is about a habit. And I always say, if you do something mindfully for 21 days, which is 3 weeks, and your brain will allow you the grace of doing that, the effort of doing that. If you do it mindfully for 21 days, after 3 weeks, your subconscious mind starts to kick in, and it just becomes something that you do, without having to do it with so much effort. It just becomes something. So if you do it and commit to it for 21 days, it can change your life. Even just incorporating gratitude into your morning. Just do it, test it, and see the results you get. And if you don't get results, it's like, well, it's not even.
Well, I know a lot of people that have tried it and they feel it's not for them. But you've got to learn to do it with feeling. It can't just be the simple act of writing something on a page. You've got to feel it, which may sound a little bit out there, but I know a lot of CEOs, business people, parents, people, just that live their lives more fully, with gratitude, at the very least. I love writing a mantra. I am a wealth creator. I am loving and lovable. I am.
Yes, absolutely. And that's whatever makes you feel the feels, because it's about feeling, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just so important to feel it, and then you can be it. And the reason why successful people do it is because they get the results. So if it doesn't work for you, find something that does work for you. And if it doesn't work in the morning, if you're not a morning person, do it at nighttime. Do it when you're closest to a dreamlike state, because that's when you don't overanalyze things. You know what I mean? That is what it is that you just do it when it's more impactful for you, when you can feel it the most. I have mindful minutes on my phone that go off 3 times a day, and for that minute I just sit. I have this go-to energy that I have, and I just smile and just feel it. And I emit that beautiful energy. It's like a recalibration. There's days when you don't feel it, but I just make myself do it. I go there, and that minute just resets my day. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, you're gifting yourself time. There is, and I mean, just I suppose before we end on the theme,
Yeah.
that's what we've got. Time. Time is what we've got. So what we choose to do with it, sometimes there can be barriers. We have commitments, certain things we have to do, but we get to choose how we live our lives, believe it or not. I know a lot of people might think, no, well, you've got to do this and you've got to do that, but we get to choose how we do it and how we show up. So sometimes thinking of the bigger picture. So maybe you have to spend more time on something now to give you more time down the road. Whatever it is, intentionally choose it.
Yeah. And just remember time with your children, like even just going to the cinema, having a duvet morning, watching a movie in the morning, just doing that time. That's precious time. That's time well spent. Those are memories. Those are beautiful moments that are captured in, those, just what are your values? Align with that and gift yourself more of that time, because then life will feel so much more fulfilling, and then other things will come into your life that are more fulfilling. So you'll just pack yourself up with so much more. And that's what I have found. You really got to focus on what lights you up, because if it lights you up, everyone around you is going to benefit from it. And you've got to do that. You have to be very precious about that. Your time is precious. So use it wisely. Hey sis, we're getting a bit wise in our old age, hey? Not old.
Yeah, we're full of wisdoms, but I don't know. Psychology would tell you we probably have a bit of death extensionism coming in here, but that's not it. I think there definitely is a feeling when you're younger, you really do think you're indestructible, that there's a never-ending abundance of time. But we both know that throughout our lives, time is not always promised. It's not always
No.
promised. So when we're here, make the most of the time that we've got and enjoy it.
Well, we're going to leave it on that note, guys. If you're jumping in now, you can go back and watch the show. It's kind of on all platforms. And we are going to start inviting guests into the show. So watch out on the Facebook page of WEAVERBIRDS Live TV for a jot form where you can register your interest in coming in to be part of the show. We're going to bring guests in to share your genius. We're going to have themed weeks, and it's going to be fun and fabulous. As always, season 3. Magic always happens in threes, doesn't it, sis?
You love it.
Bye, everyone. See you next week.
Bye.